I graduated 2008, September 2008, with my doctorate in chiropractic, master's degree in uh, exercise science and sports nutrition, and then opened my clinic. And when I opened my clinic, I mean, it was shortly after, it was like 6 months after. In fact, the week after I graduated, I actually put $5,000 down um, on a suite inside of a shopping plaza, right inside of a little strip mall plaza, to save that location because it looked exactly. In fact, I actually had a drawing of what I wanted, kind of the inside or the what my clinic would look like on the inside. So I had this drawing that I would look at in my dorm room or my apartment complex at college. And so I would be looking at this and I was like, I really want kind of this square concept. And so I found a location in this northern Georgia area. So a lot of people, when they graduate, of course, they go, all over the world. For me, my parents lived in North Georgia. And so I was like, and I had also created a lot of great relationships. I actually worked in graduate school for a successful doctor's office. And so I created a lot of relationships all throughout this community. And so I ended up finding a great location to open a practice, put money down. And I wasn't even licensed. So I had to wait till I got licensed, but I started the process of building this clinic out. And I couldn't get a business loan. This is interesting because this is right when the economy had crashed. I had no real business experience. And so, and of course, I had been in college there for 9 years. And anyways, I couldn't get a business loan. So it's interesting how all of a sudden I got, these credit card offers. I got a home refinance loan for like 6% interest, and I didn't even have a home. So I got like $20,000 from that. Somehow, God made a way. And I remember after I got turned down from the bank that I was hoping to get a business loan from, I remember driving down to Florida because I was going to take some training courses in a specific chiropractic technique and also functional nutrition courses down there in Orlando. And I was driving down there and I was just like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. And I was like emotional about it. And I was praying and God just gave me the words, keep walking. Right. And it's interesting because this is how he's spoken to me throughout my life, is usually 2-3 word types of sentences, like get up and walk, keep walking, things like that. And that's really all I needed to hear. And I just found a way, and really God made the way. I was able to open my clinic in March of 2009. I graduated in September 2008. And I was already seeing clients in their homes, right? So I started doing marketing in January, February, and I was seeing clients actually going over people's houses with my portable chiropractic table and adjusting them. Opened my clinic and I started doing workshops every Monday night on a number of different health topics. So it might be brain health, heart health, cholesterol, could be immune health, right? All different topics. Every Monday night, I would do a workshop. People would come, people would bring, back then it was hard to get really good information. So, this is before YouTube picked up and things like that. So people were bringing their friends, their family members, and people were asking lots and lots of questions. And it was at this time that I also started writing because I was a good writer, and I would write essays and I would write content. And I actually started creating an email list before I even knew really the power of an email list, by meeting people in the community and getting their emails. And I thought, I need to start creating professionally published articles, because I'm getting all these questions. People would ask me, what do I do for high cholesterol? What do I do for, sluggish thyroid? I have hypothyroidism. What do I do? I have Hashimoto's. I have chronic fatigue. I have, whatever the issue was. And I was saying the same thing over and over and over again to people in my community, to my patients. And it was just so much redundancy. And I thought, well, if I could have a great professionally published article, then I could just send that to people. And that would save me time and energy. And it would also put me, it would also position me as an authority. And so I started writing for several different websites. The main one was Natural News at the time. And, they would publish me with my bio underneath the article, and people started contacting me. Not only did I use that article and share it with my patients and, people that would ask me questions, and then they would share it with, their family members and people that they knew that had similar questions. And social media was starting to pick up. So I'd share it on, Facebook and things like that. And back then you got great organic reach even on your personal page. And so people were sharing my content. And I would get people calling my clinic from Australia, from South Africa, from all over the world, right? Different states in the United States. And they were saying, I read this amazing article on high blood pressure on Natural News, and I want to work with Dr. Jockers. I want to do a consult with him. And so I started doing virtual consults as well as working with people locally in my community. And that just took on a life of its own. And I ended up hiring another doctor to help run my clinic, and then two doctors to help run my clinic. And eventually I said, I really need to, after I hired my first, because in the beginning there was just so much work that went into running my clinic. And so I was so busy with that. But after I hired my first associate doctor in 2011, and I didn't even mention this, I actually lived in my clinic for the first 2 years. I actually had a mattress in the back of my clinic in what became the storage room. And I would sleep on that mattress, and I would shower across the street in a 24-hour gym that I would go to every morning, get a workout in, shower in my gym. Right. And so I was sleeping in this, and I was right under a power panel, right in the back where you turn off the power to different areas. I was literally sleeping right under that. I also, back then, I didn't have digital x-ray. So I had a, regular x-ray processor with chemicals. That was the main bathroom I was using. So I was being exposed to those chemicals. I was under a tremendous amount of stress. I was working 80-hour plus weeks. And I would binge eat at night, because I would work from 7 a.m., let's say, till 9 o'clock at night. And then I would just kind of binge eat and binge eating for me was never like what most people would think of binge eating. But I would get, for example, like Ezekiel bread, because it was pretty inexpensive. And back then I was, just scraping by. I would get coconut oil, put coconut oil on it, and put a bunch of like frozen blueberries or something like that. And I would eat a whole bunch of this. And I was eating a lot more grains and sugar than my body type should. And I was eating, emotionally, right? Because I was lonely, because I was, burnt out, stressed out from, just being around people all day, working hard, working so hard. And so I just didn't have balance back in those days. And so I eventually hired an associate doctor, bought a house. After 2 years, I had paid off my student loans. I had paid off all my loans. I had money in the bank. So I bought a house that was the closest available house, small little house. I bought it for like $92,000. This is 2011. I could literally walk there from my clinic, and I could walk back, right? It was like a half mile away. And so I bought the clinic, or sorry, I bought the house. And it was around this time that I realized I had skin cancer, right? And melanoma is actually what killed my grandfather. And so on my right side of my nose was kind of just a tiny little mark that's left, but I had this big nodule that was developing. And I thought it was acne at first, but it just continued to develop. And I never got it diagnosed, but I realized, you know what? I grew up in Florida. I've been sunburned a lot more than somebody should. I wasn't taking the best care of myself. And you know what? This is something that could kill me. And so that was when I bought my house. I got water filtration system because I was showering in chlorinated water. I got out of, sleeping under a power panel, ended up getting digital x-ray in my clinic. So we didn't have to, have the processing chemicals around. Try to do everything I can to clean my environment. And this is also when I found a book called The Metabolic Theory of Cancer by Dr. Thomas Seyfried. And I read that. I came out, and that's when I discovered ketosis, came off of, the breads and the grains. I did a 5-day water fast, right? Which really kickstarted my healing. And then I just went on a ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting, and doing that along with everything else I was doing. I was really working on myself spiritually, emotionally, creating more balance by having that home. I bought the home, moved in. I didn't have anything. So they actually like left a lot of their furniture, which was interesting. So I was able to have furniture, had a bed, things like that. But I just had a minimalistic lifestyle. Right. And, just tried to just invest into taking really good care of my body, my health. And I was able to reverse that cancer, right? That nodule ended up, over a 6 month period of time, just completely going away by doing this process, right? And of course, there were things I was putting on it like aloe vera, and there was like some different creams. Aloe vera was the main one, but I would say what was happening more so, 99% of the healing was what was taking place internally in me, in my mind, my body, my spirit. And getting into ketosis, doing the fasting, really driving up autophagy and cellular healing, cellular repair. That was so powerful for me.